it is not at all uncommon for people to try to make contact with him. Most of that is quite innocent and well regulated, but every now and then you see something like you saw tonight, someone jumping a rope line, jumping over a barricade in a kind of desperate effort to make contact. Usually they're not, there's no malicious intent involved. They just want to either touch the Pope or say something to him, but it's a reminder, actually, that as compared to other world leaders, presidents and prime ministers, the security penumbra around the Pope is actually fairly thin.
Yeah, tell us more about it. I mean, for example, the people we're seeing here inside St. Peter's gathered for the Mass. I mean, what kind of a security check would they have gone through? I mean, are we talking metal detectors, the whole thing, or not?
Yeah, they would have passed through metal detectors. That was a post-9/11 addition to St. Peter's Square. They're actually outside the Basilica. People form a line that for an event like you're seeing this evening would have stretched all the way around the square and out an adjoining street, and they go through metal detectors before they come inside the Basilica. But obviously, what you saw this evening is not someone who is brandishing something metal in an attempt to harm the Pope. This is simply somebody who got in line for the Mass and made a break for it.
Yeah. You know, I'm curious, too. We don't know what has happened with this woman. We know the Vatican describes her as unstable. I mean, in situations like this, I mean, what happens to someone after they've charged the Pope like that and you know, undertaken such a security breach? What tends to happen to the Pope?
Well, again, this isn't like the President of the United States. As you know, doing something like that for the President is a federal crime, and usually you could be looking at serious jail time. The Vatican's normal practice excuse me, is not, excuse me, Colleen.
Sure.
Is not to prosecute on the grounds of Christian charity.
Yeah.
So, for example, I remember once John Paul II was in Greece. A similar kind of thing happened. A guy tried to make his way to the Pope. He was a mentally unstable guy who wanted to present the Pope with a book of sketches. Once Vatican security ascertained that, he was actually allowed to do that at the end of the Mass to kind of thunderous applause. So their normal practice is to try to be as mild as possible in dealing with these situations.
And you mentioned it's not unusual. I believe we have some video of an incident, I think it was last year, involving this Pope. I think we're going to be able to see it here in a second. John, just describe what happened in that incident.
Well, I'm not seeing your video, Colleen, but I think you're referring to the incident where a guy tried to jump on the back of the Pope-mobile while it was making its way through St. Peter's Square.
Yeah, just let me jump in. This is a different one, John, and I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with all the details of it, but it's another person in, you know, just coincidentally, a red jacket as well.
Yeah,
they appear to be
last
inside.
Year, also in St. Peter's Square, a similar kind of situation where a woman attempted to accost the Pope. I guess we now have to start talking about the Vatican's lady in red, because, as you say, the odd thing is that in both of these cases she was wearing red clothes. In this sort of thing, as I say, is far less uncommon than you would think. One of the things about the Pope is that the Pope is supposed to be a pastor. That is, he's supposed to be a shepherd of souls, and so the Vatican strives to keep the kind of security apparatus around him as light and almost invisible as possible so that he can be accessible to people. Now, that is a very noble and commendable thing in many ways, but it obviously, as we saw again tonight, can sometimes leave him quite vulnerable.